2024. Roll call.
Arel?
Here.
Budke?
Here.
Kleva? Kuhn?
Here.
Lensky?
Here.
Mattson?
Here.
Reichert?
Here.
Sandy?
Here.
Wasvik? We have a quorum.
Thank you. Reading and approval of minutes.
Move approval.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 3.1. Ms. Grasser.
Plata Strata Fifth Re-subdivision located at 1500 and 1600 block of North 48th Street.
Good evening. So this is the final time you'll see Strata. We are just west of Interstate here and north of Gateway. There's the frontage road right there. They are looking to vacate Rose Avenue here, which we did last meeting. And now we're just altering those lot lines. There also will be a 10-foot utility easement that will stay just north of this lot. There are utilities in that currently, so they're looking to maintain that. They will eventually look to pave that for additional parking that is being utilized now. They're just looking to clean that up a little bit. Again, this is the final time you'll be seeing it, and staff is recommending approval.
All right. Any questions? Mr. Budke?
Yeah, I had a question. Just you mentioned the utilities, and I notice on the screen right now that reviewer comment number 3 about a pipe. I mean, it looks like maybe a like an area inlet for stormwater. Is that like a private utility, and do we know where that goes?
Do you know? I believe that they have stormwater going off into the east side, and they're draining off into the interstate, but I don't know if that's a private pipe or not.
Yeah, I believe it's private pipe. Brad, do you have any other knowledge?
Private.
Private.
Okay. So the owners on either side, they have an understanding of the maintenance responsibilities for that? Okay. All right, great. Then I will move approval.
Second. All right. Moved by Budke, second by Lunsky. Any further discussion? Oh, we have to have a public hearing, I think. Do we have a public hearing on this? Open the public hearing. Seeing no comments, back to the commission. Mr. Budke? Second. Mr. Lunsky seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3.2. Ms.
Appeal.
Grasser.
Appeal to Corridor Overlay District requirements located at 4641 South Washington Street.
All right, so this corridor overlay appeal is for the new Starbucks coming in on 47th and South Washington here on this circled corner. In their design that they have submitted, they have their building as a proposed layout with the drive-through along the west side facing the corridor, which is South Washington Street. With the proposed layout, their kitchen will be on that western side of their building, so there would be no window opportunity. And that is what the corridor overlay is looking for, is 20% windows along that side. So they are looking to, let me scroll down a little bit, looking to appeal that 20% of windows. They are putting in a structure right here for aesthetic purposes and blocking that entrance and exit door, and they will have kind of an artistic design to that. But right here is where their kitchen is, and then the drive-through window is just along that other corner. And this is the only time you guys will be seeing this appeal. And I'll stand for any questions if you have any.
Any questions? All right.
We did send out letters around 400 feet, and we didn't hear anything.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Open the public hearing. If you have anything for item 3.2, come forward. Seeing none, close the public hearing. Back to the commission.
I don't see any problem with the building, so I'll move approval.
Okay, Mr. Kuhn moves approval. Second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lunsky. Any further discussion? Yes, Mr. Budke.
Yeah, I had just a couple of, I guess, reactions, we'll call it, when I was looking through this. I guess first was just on the purpose of the corridor overlay, right, and the requirement for glass in the first place. I mean, I think the idea there is that we've got like a nice, quote-unquote front face to the building, right, on the corridor. So I guess my reaction, or like maybe frustration perhaps, is this layout. The design is very nice, but I think the layout is evidence of just some like confusion over the front and the back of the building. And I don't think this is a result of choice by the designer. I think this is like our rules, right? Like the corridor overlay approach, how we're controlling access on this. We've gotten to the point now where like we can't tell what's the front and the back of the building. So obviously, the developer here, the company wants to be on the corner and be like very visible. I understand that. But because we're designing primarily for automobiles, right, we're devoting a huge amount of the site plan to circulation of those vehicles. So like, I get it. There's restricted access. There's only one way for a vehicle to reach the site, which is actually through another site. And that means people are entering from the east. The premier corner is more to the west. So like, I get it. And I do really appreciate that there's an effort being made here. So again, just some frustration that this seems like an inevitable outcome where we have dissonant policies. My second frustration, I think, is just when I look at the site plan here and just thinking about the land use and like looking at this as like an outcome, again, of other policies. We're talking about a lot of land here and a really, fairly modest sized building. I looked on the GIS and did a little takeoff here. The lot that we're talking about is over 37,000 square feet, and the building, when I took it off, was about 2,500 square feet. So we've got a large piece of land, and we're using less than 7% of that for the building, like the actual commerce. The rest of it is all of our different setback requirements, required parking, circulation of the drive-through, all of that. So this strikes me as, again, on the one hand, largely inevitable, and also really, really bad land use, inefficient land use. So I guess I have a tough time with this one.
Thank you for your comments. We'll look at that as the site develops more, and then the one to the east as well, and see if we can work that into considerations with the developers.
Mr. Mattson?
Is there any requirement that a window would actually be transparent, that they would see through? Or is it just to have a facade that has the look of a window? Could they put a window in that doesn't actually, yeah.
Yes.
Spandrel.
We've come to that conclusion with other developers and other sites where they would put in the window, but then there's like a wall behind it for display, or like the blackout. But then that would, if they were to do that, that was an option they talked about with corporate. They would lose that whole corner of their kitchen, and they just didn't think it was functional for them.
Ms. Sandy?
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, if this is not approved, then what they'll do is they'll put in those fake windows that do not go into the building, because it is a kitchen behind it. That is a possibility. I think we looked at this as we could have them do those we call them full windows a lot. We could do that at 20%. Right now, they've started the building. That's what they would be forced to do. Or do we think that this design is better with that screening? We'd be okay. I mean, we can certainly go with the full windows, and that's if you guys deny this, I don't think Starbucks goes away. I think that's just what would happen. And they can meet that with 20%, because it's a glazing. It doesn't say that that has to go into the building. And we've had those discussions for those who were back when we first put that corridor overlay in, as a possibility. So just wanted to add that.
Ms. Sandy?
I think that corridor overlay, the policies that we have for that are very important, and if we stray from that, there's a lot more development that still needs to take place here, so I'm not supportive of this. I'm surprised they would have started building knowing that this would come up, so I guess if it ends up that they take that wall out and make it the blackened windows, I guess that would be better for me. I feel like it looks like you're driving past the back of their building. I don't think it's attractive with that wall, so I won't be supporting this, but have we done this for anyone else?
We've done some used screening before, but not like this. I haven't seen one like this. This is a smaller building. We've done the screening that was along the interstate where the landscaping was blocking. And I want to, the last one I recall doing that for was the Heartland condos. But that's much different
Much
than this.
different.
I would not, it's hard to even say that that's the same category as this. And we did have some along the interstate as well. I think the backside of the Mid-Continent Tech building, I don't think that we required windows on the backside of that, but that building's much different. And again, the interstate versus South Washington kind of feels hard to put those in the same category as well. So those are the ones that come off the top of my head.
The purpose of the requirement is so that we don't end up with a concrete box with a single door in the front. I mean, that's what we're trying to do with that rule, right? Is that the purpose?
My recollection was more about, we didn't want the stark block, built like a big, large expanse of an office building where they didn't put the windows on the front, and we wanted some glazing. I think, it's difficult because, the Starbucks size building gets treated the same as a larger big box type building. So the rules are meant, they're kind of applied across all. And then we kind of, at the time, we said, we're going to, we have this appeal option for somebody to get in there and take a look and say, provide something as an option if there's something better or something else that they want to try. But we did, it's putting those rules into play and kind of spreading one size fits all a little bit. And then that ability for us to take a look and see, does this make sense? It isn't for everybody, but it is tough on some of these lots to find out where the backside of that, because you have to put utilities and garbage pickup and those things on one side. It's really tough on a 360 piece, especially difficult on these small outlots. So it's not just Starbucks, but a McDonald's. Other ones like that always kind of come into play with that. But the glazing, the fake windows, that was when we talked about that when we first put that into play 10 to 15 years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was that we put this into play. There is an option.
There are multiple other exterior requirements we do have in that corridor overlay, and they do meet those. 50% has to be different materials. They do break up that building. They do have different peaks to their roof after a certain length of their building. So, and they do have the windows on the other side of the building, and then they try and broaden that architectural, break it up a little bit more with that landscaping wall on top of their plantings. But it is worth noting they do meet all the other requirements.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I just want to just make one more comment.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't plan to support this, but I'm surprised that they had all of these requirements, yet they started building before they were told that they could go ahead with that. And I'm not a big fan of having to change our rules because they didn't do their due diligence in their planning. And I'm always afraid of you do it once, and then why wouldn't you do it for the next person? So
During the site plan review process, we did run into that. They knew at that point that they were going to come for the appeal. They brought us a rendering with the windows in there, with a glazed one. We don't have that attached. We did look for it. They approved, or they submitted the other renderings attached below. They did submit one, but they knew that wasn't really what they wanted to go through with talking with corporate. They wanted to go with the architectural wall. So that was part of the site plan review. They did have the window incorporated, but they also knew they wanted to try for the appeal.
And we don't have a picture of that?
I don't have a picture of that.
Okay. All right. All right, any further discussion? All right, call for vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay?
Nay.
Nay.
All right, roll call.
Arel? No. Budke?
No.
Kuhn?
Yes.
Lensky?
Yes.
Mattson?
No.
Reichert?
Yes.
Sandy?
No.
Motion fails. All right. Item 3.3.
3-3, replat of lots Z through WW, Block 2, Southern Estates, First Edition, located at 4,000 to 4,200 blocks of Haven Court.
Ms. Johnson.
Thank you. So for this replat request, we're at 40th Avenue South and South 19th Street. There was a replat for this development approved in April, but since the lots are the exact size of the building footprints, proposed building size changes require a replat. So this replat will enlarge lots Z all the way down to VV and then consequently decrease the size of the common lot WW. Specifically, the lengths of both the north and south sides of each unit will increase by 6 feet. So with that, staff's recommending approval, and I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Johnson? Okay, open the public hearing. Anyone that wants to speak on item 3.3, come forward. Seeing none, back to the commission. Mr. Budke. Move to approve. Moved by Budke. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mattson. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item, no communications or preliminary approvals, reports from the planning, the monthly update, Ms. Johnson.
Okay, so for site plans, for approved site plans, we have structural materials, parking lot reconstruction, Elway childcare addition, Starbucks, and Op Warehouse. For meetings, we have a Board of Adjustments meeting actually tomorrow morning. The Safe Streets for All interactive comment map is still open for public comment. And then, if it's okay, I'll do NDPA this and then 5-2, which is the agenda. So the NDPA annual conference is 2 weeks away. 5-2 was the agenda. I won't go through all of this. It does start with a downtown walking tour and social. There's plenty of sessions in here. If you want to look through that, it's in your packet. If you see even just 1 or 2 you want to go to, you can definitely register. Let us know. There's still time. So I want to just reiterate that again. That's all I have.
So do we have to be registered for the whole thing, or can we just register for pieces of it, or how does that work?
You'd register for the whole thing and then just show up to whichever ones you want.
And what's the cost for us to register us?
$40.
Yeah, we're picking that up, of course.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right, anything else? Thank you very much. All right. Motion to adjourn. We're adjourned, thank you.